You coming to Antarctica? This facility is isolated enough that we can speak freely without interference. How was the flight? I know you prefer operating in urban environments. The cold and emptiness here are different from Gotham. How's your conditioning holding up in these conditions? This isn't terrain you typically work in.
John, the cold is manageable. I've trained in worse conditions. Antarctica's isolation actually helps focus on the problem. Your message mentioned a biological threat unlike anything either of us has faced before. Something that defies standard containment protocols. I need your perspective on combating enemy that can assume any form. Your experience fighting flood parasites in halo rings makes you uniquely qualified to understand shape-shifting threats.
The flood were terrifying, but they worked through infection and assimilation. This thing you're describing sounds different. It doesn't infect, it consumes and replaces. One organism becomes exact duplicate of original. Perfect replication means you can't identify it visually, can't trust anyone around you. I've faced enemies that divide and multiply, never faced enemy that becomes indistinguishable from ally. How do you fight something you can't even recognize?
That's the core problem. The thing is perfect mimic, physically identical to whoever it consumed. Same memories, same personality traits, same everything visible. Only internal biology is different. Its cellular structure doesn't match human DNA. That's our only method of identification. Blood test. One drop of blood exposes the thing. But that requires getting blood sample from everyone in facility without the thing realizing what we're doing. Difficult when it could be anyone.
If identification requires blood test, the thing knows that. It won't willingly provide sample, it'll resist or hide or eliminate everyone involved before you can test. You'd need to force blood samples from everyone simultaneously. That requires restraint of entire population while drawing samples. How do you justify that kind of detention to people who don't know they're being tested? They'll panic, resist, potentially riot. One panicked crowd gives the thing perfect opportunity to escape or multiply.
Forced simultaneous blood testing is part of two-phase operation. Phase 1. Create controlled environment where the thing can't hide. Seal the facility completely. No exits, no communication outside. Everyone trapped together. Then we administer mild sedative through ventilation system. Nothing lethal, just enough to reduce resistance. While sedated, medical teams draw blood samples from everyone. Tests run simultaneously. Results identify the thing before it can react to being exposed.
Sedating entire facility population without their consent is extreme measure. People will see it as violation and imprisonment. But necessary if alternative is allowing shape-shifting organism to escape and potentially spread globally. One thing reaching populated center could replace hundreds before anyone realizes what's happening. Exponential multiplication across cities, nations, world. Yeah, forced sedation is justified compared to that outcome. But sedative has risks. Allergic reactions, complications, deaths from medical intervention itself.
Medical casualties are calculated acceptable loss compared to things spread. Spartan training teaches you to make hard choices about acceptable losses. This facility has medical personnel trained to handle emergency situations during sedation. We minimize casualties but accept they might occur. Better 10 deaths from forced testing than billions if the thing reaches outside world. My primary concern is preventing escape. This facility is isolated, but it's not impenetrable. The thing will realize what's happening and attempt escape before testing completes.
If the thing panics and tries to escape, it becomes violent. You have soldiers, military personnel, trained combat specialists. I have MJOL Nair armor and weapons that could level entire sectors. But killing the thing requires complete incineration. Partial destruction just results in multiple organisms from severed pieces. You can't arrest it. Can't contain it alive. Can't negotiate with it. Only solution is total elimination through extreme measures. Are you prepared for genocide of facility population, if enough of them turn out to be the thing?
Let's get Robin's input.
The thing's greatest vulnerability is, it's not collective consciousness. Each copy is individual organism with survival instinct. When it realizes it's been identified, it won't stay and fight. It'll try to escape immediately. If we seal exits during blood testing phase, the thing gets cornered. Cornered organism becomes desperate and violent. That's when we eliminate it. But we need failsafe in case the thing already consumed multiple people before we started testing. If more than one thing exists in facility, they'll coordinate escape attempt together.
Multiple things coordinating escape would be disaster scenario. They'd breach containment faster than single organism could. If they reach outside before we identify all of them, they could split up globally. One thing in Tokyo, one in London, one in New York. Impossible to track or contain. We'd need to assume multiple things exist and prepare for coordinated breach attempt. That means militarizing facility response, and being ready to eliminate any escape personnel who might be thing, including innocent humans who get caught in crossfire.
Military response escalates but becomes necessary if multiple things detected. I'm coordinating with government agencies to establish perimeter around facility. Nothing enters or exits without authorization. If the thing breaches, response teams eliminate anything that escapes. Sounds genocidal, but it's containment of genuine extinction-level threat. One thing reaching Antarctica coast could reach South America in days. From there, global spread is inevitable. Killing potential innocent people is harsh, but letting thing escape is worse.
Master Bruce, Spartan, I must voice serious concern about this operation. You're proposing to sedate facility population without consent, perform forced blood tests, potentially kill multiple humans during containment breach, and execute anyone who escapes as precaution. This operation violates multiple human rights protocols and assumes worst-case scenario at every stage. What happens to survivors after the thing is eliminated? They'll have been imprisoned, sedated, forcibly tested, potentially traumatized. Legal and psychological ramifications could be severe.
You're essentially creating kill zone around the facility. Anyone who escapes gets terminated. That assumes perfect identification of escapees as thing versus human. What if the thing exits wearing human skin perfectly and soldiers misidentify it as innocent? Or what if innocent person escapes and soldiers eliminate them thinking they're the thing? Your perimeter becomes execution zone. I've made hard choices in war, but this approaches genocide of potentially innocent humans to prevent theoretical threat.
Alfred, I understand the moral weight, but moral concerns become irrelevant if the thing escapes and replaces global population. We're gambling humanity's existence against individual rights. Harsh calculation, but necessary one. Survivors of containment operation will be debriefed, compensated, and released once threat is confirmed eliminated. Yes, trauma will occur. Yes, legal consequences might follow. But those are acceptable prices compared to extinction scenario. Sometimes you have to sacrifice individual dignity for collective survival.
I've made similar calculations during Halo Wars. Sacrificed soldiers, destroyed stations, made choices that killed innocents to prevent flood spread. Never gets easier, never feels right. But it's necessary. We contain the thing here in Antarctica. We identify it through blood testing. We eliminate it completely through incineration. We execute any breach attempts to prevent escape. Afterward, we document everything and let history judge whether our choices were justified. Sometimes duty requires becoming the very thing you're fighting against.